Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to clean this thing up. It's supposed to be sunny, warm-ish. I'm going to pull the seat out of it, pull all the drain plugs out of it, vacuum it, scrub it. With any luck, I'll try to start it. I think I'll just put a battery in it and see if it'll fire. But other than that, probably check the points, stuff, just minor stuff. But I think it'll clean up nice, and it needs to be clean because it's pretty gross. Alrighty, let's get to it. Let's unbolt the seat. I'm not used to bolts coming off that easy. This car is pretty rust free. So herein lies the challenge. One guy gotta get the seat out. Of course, there's studs on the bottom of this seat. That's gonna make it more fun. And it smells lovely. Seats are heavy. The idea is to land on that little trolley. Make my life easier. Out. Small victories. Probably could have taken the seat backs off. That would have made it a little easier. Work smarter, right? So I'll pull all these drain plugs in here in the trunk. I'll take that cardboard out. But I noticed more bolts that aren't hooked to anything. Same as the holes back here, and I realized both sets line up with the drive shaft loop that was in the trunk. So I don't know if someone couldn't decide where to put it, or they were thinking they needed two. There's only one. And then we found a little friend on this side and his buddies over there in the corner. But other than that, not a lot of mouse debris or nests or anything. Alright, I'm gonna pull the heater, just a little vent here, because that way I can clean the cowl out, and I'll vacuum, and then I'll start scrubbing. So I removed the armrests, the door pull, the window cranks, the sill plates, the package tray, which looks kind of odd to me. I don't know why it's got like primer like that, but it's not the same color as the primer on the floor, so I don't know if that's, you know, how they did it originally. I don't think so. I'll vacuum the headliner lightly. I'm not pulling this trim off. I'm not taking the headliner out. I'm not going to take out the rear panels or the door panels, because I don't know what the cardboard is like underneath. I don't want to rip it. Here's why you take the heater out, or at least the vent. Even though it has a flapper valve that was closed, they got past it. But I don't know if they got past the fan. They probably did. But if I have to take the heater out, I'll do that separately. Alright, so I'm going to vacuum and then pull the drain plugs. So this floor is original. There's no doubt in my mind. It's got all the signs of originality. These wire loom protectors are, that's original welds and seam sealer. And I found some interesting things. One is, I've seen a bunch of, you know, like welds and things that are odd in these cars. This is the first time I've ever seen a full length of welding rod stuck to the floor. You can tell it was still stuck here at some point, and it's been painted over. And I also found the build sheet. I don't know if you can see that, but that is without a doubt part of the original build sheet. Oddly enough, if that'll focus, it's the floor covering section. The top of it is HD springs, and then the most clear one is floor covering. Okay, and when I took this cardboard off, I had to bend these clips, and it had never been off. I'm still not getting this. I think that guy must have done that. Whoever did this back half of this car. Looks like screws underneath there. And I'm pretty sure this window is out. Okay, one side down, one to go. So that's what happens when rodents get in your heater system. So let's get this out. That smell will not go away. There's one bolt that's impossible to get to. Gotta have that. The dash looks good. Seems like I'm gonna be here a while. So I'll take a look around. If you didn't know, Chrysler's early cars, the heater controls are vacuum actuated. So you have all these hoses going to all these little actuators to open and close the vents and everything. It's pretty cool. It works well. At least in my experience. Here comes all the garbage. That smells a lot. I initially tried to vacuum and then hose this out, but something still smelled. We have a small rust hole down there, which was expected. You can see the rust around there, that area where just the mouse house sits. I might pull the heater. We'll see. Alright, time to vacuum this filth up. So I got the heater vent out. It's full of mouse stuff. I pulled all this insulation out. This particular set was above the pedals, but once it gets, you know, mouse urinated on, there's no getting that stench out. So I cleaned up all under here. I'm going to spray it down. I use a mix of Simple Green and water. Seems to take the stench out. There's a lot of sand and dirt buildup that gets up under the dash, so I tried to vacuum it. I'll probably hit it with the hose. And then I found somebody fixed the wiper. So I think that's common when these cowls rust out. They brace that wiper arm so it still works, but I can fix that better. Probably leave it as is for now. Well, as long as it works. The other side's rust free. So in total, we have rust up under there, that little bit of rust, and a tiny bit in the trunk around some of the drain holes. And that's it. And then I went ahead and I don't think I ever looked in this ashtray, because much to my surprise, it is chock full of stuff. If I can get it out. Another emergency brake pedal. Another blower bezel, miscellaneous nut screws. These are always handy to have. Not from this car though. Alright, more cleaning needs to be done. So there's a little flap right there, that little rubber flap. And everything that drains from the cowl comes down to this section of the heater. And it drains out. And the problem is, well, one, there's that flap, I imagine, to keep stuff from coming in. But there's a little ridge at the bottom. So you're inevitably going to have, you know, a buildup of stuff right there. And then there's also a cowl drain here in the engine compartment. And I've actually never had a car with the flap actually still here, which, as you see, prevents stuff from coming out. And it too has a little ridge here where the water line goes below that. So I don't get that. And then there's a little plug here you can get to the cowl. But what happens is it typically drains on this side fine until it gets down to that heater section. On this side, the drain is basically the passenger side, and underneath this fender, right where this joins with the firewall, there's a little opening. It's right about here that drains down into the fender. Well, it's so tiny, it just inevitably fills up, and then you get this. This is what you get from that. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this with the hose, try to get all this junk out of here, whatever's in here, clean out all these traps. We gotta pop this off. I want to destroy it. I've never seen one. But it needs to go. One. There's two. With any luck, all this crud can escape. Kind of a poor design. Once you get a pine needle in there, forget it. Of course, these cars, just like any car, were disposable. Coming out. There's a whole pine tree in here, I think. So that looks cleaner. Doesn't account for everything that got dumped onto the floor. I'll spray this out. And spray under the dash. And we'll continue with the door panels. So this just turned into a might as well project. While trying to vacuum out what I assumed was a mouse nest right there, because I saw that, I took all this trim off. Of course, one's on top of the other, so you have to take like 6 off to get one off. And vacuumed up in there. There was a little mouse nest up in this area. So might as well do this side. And then while the trim's off, might as well clean it while it's out of the car. So at least the smell will be gone. I'll do this side, get the smell out of that side. I don't see any other holes. I don't see any other signs of like rusty metal or mouse droppings and urine would be dripping down. So, okay, one more step to get rid of the smell. The lighting might be not the greatest, but I need to get this done. So we'll do a before and after. That's pretty filthy. I'm just gonna wet it down and then start hitting it with the simple green. Start scrubbing away. I'll let this stuff do its thing. I can really scrub the hell out of it. Chrome is just like tape. Not very durable. Come on. Took that filth off around the armrest. That was a lot of filth. I'm just going to spray it down. Give it a quick wipe down. I don't know how easy or difficult that is to see. I got a better comparison in the car. So there's the before of the back panel. And here's the after. See the door panel on the driver's side. That's quite the improvement. That doesn't look brand new, but it looks close to new. So I'm going to finish up. One more panel to do. Got to do all the armrests, the door pulls, and the window cranks. Get the package tray back in. Clean the trunk. Clean the car. Done. So I'm vacuuming this so I can scrub it down and clean it. I'm going to remove these because I don't want water getting in them, but this bar is welded on. And I opened the battery box and boom. Cables. The battery connections. The whole thing is here. I guess I didn't really think to even look in here or that any of this stuff would even be here. So, nice find. Okay, I vacuumed. I'm going to scrub it in here. And then I think next I'll pressure wash the seats while the sun is still out. And then I'll clean the car. Okay, I'm going to be real careful here. I'm going to see how the pressure washer does on this. Okay, last two pieces. Before. And here is after. A little rip down there. But what a difference. I tell you, cleaning filth is not easy. Things definitely always take longer than you think. So I'm gonna keep at it, putting this stuff together. I don't think I'll finish today, but by the end of this video, this thing will be clean with an interior in it. So we got the back seat in. Cleaning in. Package tray's clean. Headliner's clean. Clean as it'll get. All the trim and everything Clean the floor, clean the dash, clean the steering wheel, clean the inside of the windows. Not that you can tell at the moment. So I'm going to get this front seat in and then move on to the next thing. I'll do the door handles and the window cranks later because I'll polish them up a little. But so far so good. Alright, let's get this seat in. Okay, let the swearing begin. Off to a good start. Easier to do with the seat backs off. That way it's not flopping backwards and you can get all the bolts on. This passenger seat back turned out really nice. Give these little things a tap on. That's what holds the seat on, nothing else. Seat hinge covers, long one on the passenger side because that seat tilts farther. All cleaned up. I don't think I can sew this. I think it's too far apart. Yeah. So that's gonna have to be as is. Looking good. That steering wheel, that was pretty filthy. Cleaned up nice. I gotta empty the ashtray, get that back in. Like I said before, the door handles and the window cranks. I'll put the seat pillar lenses on after I'm sure the electrical works and those bulbs work. I'm not buying a carpet for it, not at the moment. Looks good. I am pleased. Bonus, it doesn't reek anymore in here. And it's not full of mold. I'll glue that chrome strip back on the rear piece here. Just a couple little things to do. I think next let's get it running. That would be nice. And clean the outside. And tires. And brakes. And so on and so forth. So I'm about to spray down this engine compartment, and I figured I'd take the battery out. And I noticed these things were pretty much welded onto the battery, but this post is actually popped up and it's loose. I have never seen that ever. So I'm going to remove this battery and get it out of here and start pressure washing this. This thing is clean, officially. And it smells a lot better. Door panels turned out good. Rear panels. Package tray. Vacuumed all the mice nests out of the headliner. Rear seat took a couple days to dry. Steering wheel cleaned up nice. Just got to do the window cranks and the door pulls. I'll do them later. They're not pitted or anything. Floors look great. door's shut nice. Rims cleaned up nice. Those hubcaps are near perfect. Near perfect. Ice cream salt debacle. Engine bay turned out nice. Even the motor, a lot of the grease came off. I haven't even checked if this will turn, but we will find out. I don't know what this is in the radiator. It looks like a repair. It's kind of odd. It looks like it has like solder on it. Who knows? I think there's some antifreeze in here, so it must not leak. So the plan is put a battery in it, or get a battery for it. I'm not even sure I have a battery to spare. See if it'll just start and work backwards. This car is heavy. It's not fun to push. Yeah, that's a win. I've never driven a... Well, I think I drove a 3-speed on the column once, 100 years ago, but not anything on a daily basis. I mean, there's some dings, some scratches, but there's no rust. I think there's some filler in these quarters. Just maybe on the lip here. But other than that, it looks good. There's a lot of filth that built up in here. I got that out. Like I said, it looks like someone took the window out, primered and painted around it. Definitely paint it in the trunk here. I've got that quick glow stuff. That'll clean this chrome up if I even feel like doing it. We'll see. All in all, I'm happy with it. I'll be more happy when it runs and stops. I might try cleaning out that master cylinder. I cleaned the one on the Coronet out. It was full of rust and it works. Cleaned up nice. I got brake hoses for it, the 2 in the front and the 1 rear one, because I think all the lines look good, at least for starters. So yeah, we'll close the door or the hood. I'm cleaning this thing up. I think it was a success. Maybe a little boring, but I got it done. Took this thing out for a rip today. That's always fun. Alright, that's where we'll end it. The 2 B bodies. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and all that nonsense. Next up, this has got to get dug out. Gotta make it run better, make it stop. Ordered a bunch of parts, headlights, fuel pump, plugs, wires, all the good stuff. Brake lines. Hopefully this will be on the road within a few weeks. We'll be driving this thing around. I actually ordered a carpet for it too. I didn't know they made carpets for these. For the 62s. So I think it's coming from the manufacturer, Auto Custom Carpets. It's the same carpet company I got for the other cars. It's good stuff. So that's next. Of course, there's piles of stuff all over it. But we'll get it out tomorrow and get going. Alrighty, until the next time.